Hello everyone and welcome to Fluent Flow English. I'm really happy that you're here today. Thank you for choosing this podcast to practice your English listening and speaking skills. This is a calm and friendly space where you can relax, listen, and learn at your own pace. You don't need to understand every single word, just listen, feel the language, and enjoy the moment. This podcast is made especially for English learners like you. Here, we use simple words and clear sentences. We speak slowly and naturally. The goal is not only to improve your English, but also to help you think and grow in your everyday life. While you listen, you can repeat the sentences quietly or speak them out loud. This is a great way to build confidence in English. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic. The topic is, start thinking for yourself. These words may sound simple, but the idea behind them is very powerful. Thinking for yourself means using your own mind. It means looking at your life, your choices, and your opinions, and making decisions with awareness. It does not mean fighting with others. It does not mean saying no to everyone. It simply means that you do not follow others without thinking first. In daily life, many people do not stop to think. They follow what others say. They follow what is popular. They follow what they see on social media, in the news, or around them. Sometimes they do this because it feels easy. Sometimes they do it because they are afraid of making mistakes. But when we do not think for ourselves, we can feel confused, lost, or unhappy inside. This topic is important because every day we make both small and big decisions. We decide how to spend our time. We decide what to learn. We decide what to believe. When we start thinking for ourselves, our decisions become clearer. We understand why we choose something. We feel more confident about our choices. Even if we make a mistake, we can learn from it and grow. This topic is also very helpful for your English learning journey. When you think for yourself, you stop comparing your progress with others. You learn in your own way. You speak even when you are not perfect. You learn to trust your progress. This mindset can make learning English easier and more enjoyable. So today, as you listen to this episode of Fluent Flow English, I invite you to stay open and relaxed. There is no pressure. Just listen, think, and reflect. Let this be the first small step toward thinking more clearly, both in English and in life. What does thinking for yourself mean? Now, let us take a calm and clear look at the main idea of today's topic. What does it really mean to think for yourself? This question sounds simple,
but many people feel confused when they hear it. So let us explain it step by step, using easy words and real examples from daily life. Thinking for yourself means using your own mind to understand things. It means you stop for a moment and think before you decide. You listen to different ideas, but you do not accept them immediately. You ask yourself simple questions like, "Do I agree with this?" or "Does this feel right for me?" When you think for yourself, you are active, not passive. You are not sleeping while others decide for you. You are awake and aware. Thinking for yourself does not mean that you are always right. It also does not mean that you know everything. It simply means that you try to understand things with your own thinking. You look at information, experiences, and advice, and then you choose what makes sense to you. This is a skill, and like any skill, it grows with practice. It's also very important to understand what thinking for yourself does not mean. Thinking for yourself does not mean being rude to others. It does not mean you argue with everyone. It does not mean you say, "I am better than you," or "Only my opinion is correct." You can think for yourself and still be kind, polite, and respectful. You can listen carefully and still decide differently. Thinking for yourself is also not selfish. Being selfish means you only care about yourself and ignore others. Thinking for yourself is different. You still care about people. You still listen to advice. But you do not lose yourself in other people's opinions. You respect others, and you also respect your own thoughts and feelings. Now let us look at the difference between thinking for yourself and copying others' opinions. When you copy others, you do not think much. You hear something, and you repeat it. Someone says, "This is good," and you say the same thing. Someone says, "This is bad," and you agree without checking. You follow because it feels safe and easy. You do not want to be different, so you choose to follow. When you think for yourself, the process is different. You hear what others say, but you pause. You think, you decide, you choose. You may agree or you may not. Both are okay. The important thing is that the decision comes from you, not from fear or habit. Let us take a simple example from school or college. Imagine a student chooses a subject because all their friends choose it. They do not ask themselves if they like it or if it fits their future plans. This is copying others. Another student listens to friends, teachers, and family, but then asks, "What do I enjoy?" and "What do I want to learn?" This student is thinking for themselves. Now let us look at an example from work. Many people stay in a job they do not like because others say, "This job is safe," or "This is a good company." They follow these words and ignore their own feelings. Thinking for yourself at work means asking simple questions like, "Am I learning here?" or "Is this good for my mental health?" You can still respect advice, but you decide based on your own life. Social media is another very strong example. Every day we see opinions, trends, and ideas online. Many people like, share, and follow without thinking. If something is popular, they believe it must be true. But thinking for yourself means slowing down. It means asking, "Is this information correct?" Or, "Do I really agree with this?" You do not follow everything just because many people follow it. In daily life, thinking for yourself shows in small moments. You choose how to spend your time. You decide what habits are good for you. You think about what you want, not only what others expect. These small choices slowly build a strong and confident mind. So, thinking for yourself is not a big or scary idea. It is a simple habit. It starts with pausing, thinking, deciding, and choosing. It is about listening, but not following blindly. When you begin to do this, life becomes clearer, calmer, and more meaningful. Why many people do not think for themselves. Now let us talk about something very human and very common. Many people do not think for themselves, and this does not mean they are weak or lazy. In most cases, it happens because of fear, habits, and emotions. When we understand these reasons, we stop blaming ourselves. Instead, we start to understand ourselves better. One very strong reason is the fear of making mistakes. Many people are afraid to choose something wrong. They think, "What if I fail?" or "What if this decision is bad?" Because of this fear, they feel safer when someone else decides for them. If the decision goes wrong, they can say, "It was not my idea." This fear can stop people from using their own thinking. They prefer safety over growth. Another common fear is the fear of being different. Human beings like to belong. We want to feel accepted by family, friends, and society. When our opinion is different, we may feel uncomfortable. We may worry that others will not like us anymore. Because of this, many people hide their real thoughts and follow the group. They choose to be the same, even if it does not feel right inside. Fear of judgment is also very powerful. Many people worry about what others will say or think. They imagine people laughing at them or criticizing them. This fear can be very strong in school, at work, or even at home. When we are afraid of judgment, we stop trusting our own ideas. We think it is easier to agree with others than to explain our own opinion. Closely connected to this is the desire for approval. Many people want to hear words like, "good job," or "you are right." Approval makes us feel safe and valued. But when we depend too much on approval, we stop thinking independently. We start to say what others want to hear, not what we truly think. Over time, this habit becomes normal, and we forget how to listen to our own voice. Family and society also play a big role. From a young age, many people are taught to follow rules without questions. Parents, teachers, and elders often decide what is right and what is wrong. This can be helpful, but it can also create a habit of following without thinking. When this habit grows, people continue to follow family or society even as adults, without asking if something truly fits their life. Friends also influence our thinking. When everyone around us thinks the same way, it feels strange to think differently. For example, if all your friends like something, you may say you like it too, even if you do not. You do this to avoid feeling alone. This is very common, and many people experience it every day. Social media makes this problem even stronger. We see many opinions, trends, and ideas online. When something has many likes or followers, it looks correct and powerful. Many people follow these ideas without checking them. They do not stop to think if the idea is true or helpful. They follow because everyone else is following. This can slowly weaken our ability to think clearly. Another reason people do not think for themselves is comfort. Letting others decide feels easy. You do not need to think too much. You do not need to take responsibility. Life feels simpler when someone else chooses for you. But this comfort is short-term. Over time, it can create confusion, stress, and dissatisfaction. Let us look at a simple emotional example. Imagine someone choosing a career. Their family says one thing. Their friends say another. Social media shows something else. The person feels confused and scared. Instead of asking, "What do I want?" they choose what others suggest. Inside, they feel empty, but outside, everything looks fine. This is what happens when we stop thinking for ourselves. So, many people do not think for themselves not because they cannot, but because they are afraid, used to following, or seeking comfort. Understanding this helps us become kinder to ourselves. And when we understand the reasons, we can slowly start to change them. How society influences our thinking. Now let us look at how society influences the way we think. Society is not one single thing. It is made of people, ideas, rules, media, and daily conversations around us. Most of the time, we do not even notice how much society shapes our thoughts. It happens quietly, slowly, and every day. Social media is one of the strongest influences today. When we open our phone, we see many opinions, images, and messages. People are sharing their lives, their beliefs, and their advice. When something gets many likes, shares, or comments, it looks important and correct. Because of this, many people start to think the same way. They follow trends, repeat popular opinions, and change their behavior without asking simple questions. They may think, everyone is doing this, so it must be right. Over time, social media is shaping how people think, feel, and choose. Friends and family also influence our thinking in strong ways. From childhood, we listen to our parents, elders, and teachers. They teach us what is good and what is bad. This guidance can be helpful, but it can also limit our thinking. Sometimes we accept these ideas without checking them. Even as adults, many people continue to think the same way their family thinks, because it feels familiar and safe. Friends influence us in everyday situations. When friends share their opinions, we often agree to keep peace or feel connected. For example, if a group of friends believes something strongly, it can feel uncomfortable to disagree. So, many people stay silent or agree, even when they think differently inside. This habit slowly teaches us to follow instead of think. News and popular ideas also play a big role. News tells us what to worry about, what to believe, and what is important. When we hear the same message again and again, it starts to feel true. Trends work in a similar way. A popular idea becomes normal because many people talk about it. We may not ask, "Is this true for me?" We simply accept it because it is everywhere. All these influences affect our choices and beliefs. They influence what we buy, what we study, how we live, and even how we see ourselves. For example, society often shows a picture of success. When we see this picture again and again, we may start to believe that success looks only one way. We may chase things that do not truly make us happy. This influence also affects our beliefs about ourselves. If society keeps saying that something is not good enough, people start to believe it. They may feel small or unimportant. On the other hand, when society praises something, people may follow it without thinking if it matches their values. Most of this influence is happening quietly. People are scrolling, listening, watching, and absorbing ideas all the time. They are not stopping to ask questions. This is why awareness is important. When we become aware, we start to notice how society is influencing us. Thinking for yourself does not mean rejecting society. It means being aware of its influence. It means listening, but also thinking. When we understand how society shapes our thoughts, we can make clearer choices and build beliefs that truly belong to us. Signs that you are not thinking for yourself. Now let us gently look at some signs that show when a person may not be thinking for themselves. This part is not about judging or blaming. It is about self-reflection. When we notice these signs, we get a chance to understand ourselves better and slowly grow. Many people experience these signs, so if you recognize yourself, remember that you are not alone. One common sign is always asking others what to do. If you often feel unable to decide without advice, this may be a signal. You may ask friends, family, or even strangers before making small choices. Of course, asking for advice is normal. But if you feel afraid to decide alone, you may be depending too much on others' opinions. When this happens, your own voice becomes quiet, and other voices become louder. Another sign is changing your opinion very easily. If you often agree with the last person you talk to, this may be a sign. For example, you talk to one friend and agree with their idea. Then you talk to another friend and suddenly change your mind. After that, you may not even remember what you truly think. When opinions change too fast, It shows that your thinking is being pushed by others, not guided by yourself. Feeling confused after listening to many people is also a strong sign. If you listen to family, friends, social media, and news, and then feel more confused than before, this is important to notice. Too many voices can create noise in the mind. When you do not stop to think quietly, you lose clarity. If you often feel tired or stressed after hearing many opinions, it may mean you are not giving space to your own thinking. Another sign is feeling uncomfortable with your own ideas. If you often think, "My idea is not good," or "Others know better than me," this can stop you from speaking or acting. You may have thoughts and ideas, but you push them away. You may feel nervous when your idea is different from others. This discomfort can make you silent, even when you want to speak. If you often feel the need for approval before acting, this is also connected. You may feel calm only when someone agrees with you. Without approval, you feel unsure. This means your confidence is coming from outside, not from inside. Over time, this can weaken self-trust and make decisions harder. Another pattern is avoiding responsibility. When others decide for you, you do not need to take responsibility for the result. If something goes wrong, you can blame the decision. This may feel safe, but it also keeps you stuck. If you often let others choose just to avoid responsibility, you may not be thinking for yourself fully. Let us look at a simple example. Imagine you want to learn something new. You ask many people. One says yes, another says no. You watch videos and read comments. After all this, you feel more confused than before. You do nothing. This confusion shows that too many voices are controlling your thinking. Recognizing these signs is a powerful step. When you notice them, you are already becoming more aware. Awareness is the beginning of change. You do not need to fix everything at once. Just noticing these patterns helps you move closer to thinking clearly and confidently for yourself. Problems that come from not thinking for yourself. Now let us talk about the problems that come from not thinking for yourself. These problems do not appear suddenly. They grow slowly over time. Many people do not notice them at first, but one day they start to feel unhappy, confused, or empty. Understanding these problems can help you reflect on your own life and choices. One big problem is making wrong decisions. When you do not think for yourself, your decisions come from other people's opinions, not from your own understanding. You may choose a job, a course, or even relationships because others tell you to do so. This can make you feel uncomfortable later. You may ask yourself, "Why did I choose this?" When decisions are not yours, they often do not match your true needs. Another problem is feeling confused. When you listen to too many people and follow different advice, your mind becomes crowded. One person says one thing, another says something different. Social media says something else. You may feel lost and unsure. This confusion can make you feel tired and stressed. You may want clarity, but you cannot find it because you are not listening to yourself. Losing confidence is another serious effect. When you always follow others, you stop trusting your own thinking. Over time, you may believe that you are not smart enough to decide. This can make you feel small and weak inside. You may feel afraid to speak or share your ideas. This loss of confidence can affect work, relationships, and personal growth. Not thinking for yourself can also make you live someone else's life. You may follow a path chosen by family, society, or friends. From the outside, your life may look successful or normal, but inside, you may feel empty or unhappy. You may feel like you are playing a role instead of living your true life. This feeling can become stronger with time. This way of living can also affect happiness. When your life does not match your values and dreams, you may feel frustrated. You may wonder why you are not satisfied, even when everything looks fine. This can make you feel disconnected from yourself and your purpose. Another problem is regret. When years pass, you may look back and realize that many choices were not truly yours. This realization can bring sadness. You may think, "I did not try," or "I did not listen to myself." Regret can be heavy, but awareness can help you change direction. These problems show why thinking for yourself is important. When you choose with awareness, you feel clearer and stronger. You feel responsible for your life. Even when mistakes happen, you learn and grow. Thinking for yourself helps you live a life that feels honest and meaningful. Benefits of thinking for yourself. Now let us look at the bright and positive side of this topic. When you start thinking for yourself, many good changes slowly begin to appear in your life. These benefits do not come in one day, but step by step. Each small decision builds something strong inside you. These benefits are not only about success, they are about how you feel inside every day. One of the first benefits is feeling more confident. When you think for yourself, you trust your own thinking. You listen to others, but you do not feel lost. This can make you feel calmer and stronger. You may speak with more clarity. You may walk with more confidence. Even when others disagree with you, you feel steady inside. This confidence is quiet, but powerful. Thinking for yourself also helps you make better decisions. When decisions come from your own understanding, they fit your life better. You think about your situation, your needs, and your values. Because of this, your choices feel more natural. You may still make mistakes, but these mistakes become lessons, not regrets. Over time, your decisions become wiser and clearer. Another beautiful benefit is understanding yourself better. When you think for yourself, you spend time with your own thoughts. You learn what you like and what you do not like. You learn what matters to you. This self-understanding creates a strong connection with yourself. You stop living on autopilot and start living with awareness. Inner peace is another important benefit. When your choices match your true feelings, your mind feels lighter. You do not feel pulled in many directions. You are not always worried about what others think. This peace comes from honesty with yourself. It helps you sleep better, think better, and feel better. Thinking for yourself also helps you feel proud of your choices. Even when things are difficult, you can say, "This was my decision." This pride is healthy. It does not make you arrogant. It makes you responsible. You stand behind your actions and learn from them. Strong self-belief grows naturally when you think for yourself. You start to believe that your thoughts and feelings matter. You trust your ability to choose and learn. This belief helps you face challenges with courage. You stop depending too much on approval. You begin to feel complete inside. Another powerful benefit is having a clear direction in life. When you think for yourself, your path becomes clearer. You know why you are doing something. You are not just following the crowd. This direction makes life feel meaningful. You move forward with purpose, not confusion. Compared to a life of following others, a life of thinking for yourself feels freer and more honest. You are not perfect, but you are real. You may not please everyone, but you respect yourself. Over time, this way of living builds a strong, peaceful, and confident life. Thinking for yourself is a gift you give to yourself. It brings confidence, clarity, peace, and pride. And once you experience these benefits, you will never want to stop. Simple steps to start thinking for yourself. Now let us talk about how you can start thinking for yourself in a simple and practical way. This is not about changing your life in one day. It is about small steps that you can take every day. These steps are easy, realistic, and helpful in real life. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to start. The first step is to pause before you decide. When something happens and you need to choose, do not answer immediately. Start by taking a small pause. This pause can be just a few seconds or a few minutes. During this pause, breathe and slow down. This simple pause creates space between the situation and your reaction. It helps you move from automatic behavior to conscious thinking. Next, try to ask yourself simple questions. You do not need difficult or deep questions. Simple ones are enough. Ask yourself, what do I really think about this? Or, how do I feel about this choice? You can also ask, is this good for me right now? These questions bring your attention back to yourself. They help you listen to your own inner voice. Another important step is taking time before making big decisions. Many people feel pressure to decide quickly, but you do not always need to hurry. If you can, give yourself time. Sleep on it. Think about it again the next day. When you give time to a decision, your thinking becomes clearer. You start to see things more calmly and honestly. Listening to others is also important, but try not to follow blindly. You can listen to advice from family, friends, or teachers. You can learn from their experience. But after listening, come back to yourself. Ask, does this advice fit my life? Or, does this feel right for me? Listening does not mean obeying. You can respect advice and still choose your own path. Accepting mistakes as learning is another powerful step. Many people do not think for themselves because they are afraid of making mistakes. But mistakes are part of learning. When you make a decision and it does not work, do not be hard on yourself. Say, I learned something. Each mistake teaches you more about yourself and life. This mindset makes thinking for yourself easier and less scary. Trusting your own experience is also very important. You have lived your life. You have felt joy, pain, success, and failure. Your experience matters. Start to respect it. When you remember past situations, you can see what worked and what did not. This helps you make better choices in the present. Let us look at a simple example. Imagine you want to start learning something new. Many people give you advice. Some say yes, some say no. Instead of feeling confused, pause. Ask yourself what you want. Take time. Listen, but choose carefully. If it works, you grow. If it does not, you learn. This is thinking for yourself. These steps may look small, but they are powerful. Start with one step today. Pause. Ask. Think. Choose. With practice, thinking for yourself becomes natural. And step by step, you build a life that feels true and confident. Easy daily life examples. Now let us make this idea very clear by looking at simple examples from daily life. These examples are easy to imagine, because they happen to us every day. When you see these situations, you can understand how thinking for yourself works in real life, not just in theory. Let us start with choosing clothes. Many people choose clothes because others like them or because they are popular. They see something trending online, or their friends wear it, and they buy it without thinking. Later, they may feel uncomfortable or not confident wearing it. Thinking for yourself in this situation means asking a simple question. Do I like this? Or do I feel comfortable in this? When you choose clothes that match your comfort and style, you feel better and more confident. The choice feels personal and natural. Now let us talk about choosing friends. Many people stay friends with others just because they have known them for a long time, or because everyone in the group is the same. Sometimes, these friendships do not feel healthy or supportive. Thinking for yourself means noticing how you feel with someone. Do you feel respected? Do you feel relaxed? Choosing friends who support and understand you helps you grow. It does not mean you reject others. It means you choose relationships that feel right for you. Choosing what to study or learn is another important example. Many people choose subjects or courses because their family suggests it or because it sounds successful. Later, they feel bored or unhappy. Thinking for yourself means asking, what am I curious about? Or, what do I enjoy learning? When your learning choice comes from interest, it becomes easier and more enjoyable. You feel motivated, not forced. Social media opinions are a strong daily example. You may see many posts telling you how to live, what to believe, or what success looks like. Many people accept these opinions without thinking. Thinking for yourself means pausing and asking, do I agree with this? Or, does this make sense for my life? You can read, watch, and listen, but you do not need to copy everything. This keeps your mind clear and balanced. Let us look at a small past example. Imagine you bought something because many people recommended it online. Later, you did not use it much. This experience teaches you something. Next time, you may think more carefully before buying. This is learning through experience and thinking for yourself. In daily life, these small choices shape who you become. When you think for yourself in simple moments, you build confidence. You feel more comfortable being yourself. Over time, these small actions create a strong habit of independent thinking. Thinking for yourself does not make life harder. It makes life clearer. These daily examples show that anyone can start, one small choice at a time. Thinking for yourself while learning English. Now let us focus on something very special for you as an English learner. Thinking for yourself is not only about life decisions, it is also very important in learning English. Many learners face challenges because they follow others too much or compare themselves to other people. When you think for yourself, learning becomes easier, more enjoyable, and more effective. The first step is choosing your own learning style. Every learner is different. Some people like reading books, others like listening to podcasts, and some enjoy speaking with friends. Many learners try to copy others, thinking that one method is the best. But when you think for yourself, you ask, what works best for me? You try different ways, notice what feels natural, and choose the methods that help you learn faster and enjoy the process. This personal approach keeps you motivated and makes learning fun. Another important point is not comparing yourself to others. Many learners feel discouraged because they see someone speaking English fluently or writing perfectly. They may think, "I am slow," or "I will never be as good as them." This comparison can stop you from practicing and growing. Thinking for yourself means understanding that your learning journey is unique. You focus on your progress, not others' progress. You celebrate small achievements and keep moving forward at your own pace. Speaking without fear of mistakes is also a key step. Many learners are afraid to speak English because they fear judgment or embarrassment. They wait until they are perfect, but perfection never comes quickly. Thinking for yourself means realizing that mistakes are normal. Every time you speak, even with small errors, you learn and improve. You can ask simple questions, repeat sentences, and practice slowly. Speaking bravely, even with mistakes, strengthens your confidence and helps your English grow faster. Creating your own learning routine is another powerful way to think for yourself. Many learners follow rigid schedules suggested by others. Some try to copy friends' routines or follow advice from social media. But these routines may not fit your life, energy, or style. Thinking for yourself means designing a routine that works for you. It could be 15 minutes of listening every morning, speaking practice with a friend twice a week, or reading one short story every day. The key is that the routine is realistic, enjoyable, and consistent. This routine becomes your personal learning path, not someone else's. You can also think for yourself when choosing topics to study. Instead of only focusing on what is popular or what teachers suggest, you can choose topics that interest you. If you love sports, cooking, or travel, learn English around these topics. This makes learning meaningful and helps you remember new words and expressions more easily. Thinking for yourself in English learning also means reflecting on your progress. Every week, you could ask yourself simple questions. What did I learn this week? What was easy for me? What was difficult? These reflections help you adjust your learning path. You start to notice patterns, strengths, and areas to improve. This awareness makes you independent and confident as a learner. Finally, thinking for yourself creates a positive mindset. You stop waiting for someone else to guide you every step. You start trusting your choices, celebrating your small wins, and correcting your mistakes calmly. This mindset not only improves your English, but also strengthens your life skills, like decision-making, problem-solving, and confidence. When you connect thinking for yourself with learning English, every practice becomes meaningful. You are not just repeating words or sentences. You are making decisions, choosing methods, and building habits that match your life. Step by step, this approach helps you grow into a confident English speaker who learns with joy, independence, and purpose. Now, let us take a calm moment to reflect. This is your time to think and practice speaking. Reflection is very important because it helps you understand yourself better. It also helps your mind to remember the ideas we discussed today. During this part, I will ask you simple questions. You can answer them quietly in your mind or speak them out loud. Speaking out loud is even better because it helps you practice English naturally. Don't worry about making mistakes. This is a safe space, and every answer is correct because it comes from you. The first question is, what is one area of my life where I usually follow others instead of thinking for myself? Take a moment to think about this. It could be about your studies, your hobbies, your friendships, or even your daily routine. Pause for a few seconds and answer honestly. Try to say your answer in a full sentence. For example, you can say, "I often follow my friends when choosing what to watch or play." Or, "I often do what my family suggests without thinking." Speaking aloud helps your brain remember this idea and practice English at the same time. The second question is, what is one small choice I can make today by myself? This is about starting simple. It does not have to be a big life decision. It can be something small and easy, like choosing what to eat, what to wear, or which activity to do first. Pause and think about it. Then say it out loud in a complete sentence. For example, you might say, "Today, I will choose my own book to read." Or, "Today, I will decide my study time without asking anyone." Even small actions help you practice thinking independently. They also build confidence over time. The third question is, how can I trust my own thoughts and decisions more? This question helps you think about your mind and feelings. Pause and reflect. You may answer, "I can trust my decisions by pausing and thinking before I act." Or, "I can trust my thoughts by listening to myself and accepting mistakes." Try to speak your answer aloud. Speaking your reflections helps your mind connect thinking for yourself with using English words and sentences. As you answer these questions, do not rush. Take your time to feel the answer and express it clearly. You may pause for a few seconds between questions. Breathing slowly can also help you feel calm and focused. This moment is not about finishing fast. It is about understanding yourself and practicing English naturally. Reflection like this helps you in two ways. First, it improves your English listening and speaking skills. You are practicing sentences, thinking in English, and speaking confidently. Second, it improves your life skills. You become more aware of your habits, your choices, and your inner voice. Step by step, this reflection helps you grow into a person who can think clearly, decide wisely, and act with confidence. You can repeat this reflection practice anytime, even after this podcast. Choose a quiet moment during the day. Ask yourself these questions or similar ones. Speak your answers out loud. Try to do it once a day. Over time, this practice becomes a habit. You naturally start thinking more independently, not just in small decisions, but in bigger ones as well. Remember, there are no wrong answers in reflection. Every answer is valuable because it comes from you. You are listening, thinking, and speaking at the same time. This is how learning and growing happen together. Reflection is simple, but it is very powerful. By practicing regularly, you are training your mind to think for yourself and training your English to become stronger and more confident. So, take this moment seriously. Pause, think, speak. Feel your answers. Enjoy the process. Each question you answer aloud is a step toward thinking independently and using English naturally. Little by little, you will notice that your decisions feel clearer, your thoughts feel stronger, and your English feels easier to use in daily life. Now, let us take a calm moment to end today's episode with a gentle message. Thinking for yourself is a very important skill, and just like any skill, it grows slowly with practice. You do not need to be perfect from the start. Every small step you take today brings you closer to a clearer, stronger, and more confident mind. Even tiny choices matter. Choosing to pause before deciding, asking yourself simple questions, or speaking your thoughts aloud are all steps toward thinking independently. To summarize softly, Thinking for yourself means listening to your own mind, trusting your own feelings, and making decisions that feel right for you. It does not mean rejecting advice, being rude, or ignoring others. It simply means that you create space to notice your thoughts, reflect on your choices, and act with awareness. Over time, this habit builds confidence, clarity, and inner peace. When you trust yourself more, your decisions feel natural, and your life starts to feel more meaningful. Remember, every listener can start small. You do not need to change everything at once. A small choice today, like deciding what to study, what to wear, or even which topic to explore in English, is already practicing thinking for yourself. These small steps add up over time. Each small action strengthens your mind, builds confidence, and helps you trust your own voice. Step by step, you will notice a real difference in the way you think and act. Thinking for yourself is a skill, not just an idea. Like learning English, it grows with practice. You may make mistakes, feel confused sometimes, or change your mind often. That is
completely normal. Every mistake is a lesson. Every pause is practice. And every choice is a step forward. The important thing is to keep trying, keep paying attention, and keep expressing your thoughts, even in small ways. Thank you so much for listening to Fluent Flow English today. Your time, attention, and effort truly matter. And by listening, you are developing not only your English, but also valuable life skills. Every word you hear, every sentence you repeat, and every idea you reflect on can help you grow. Remember that learning and thinking for yourself are journeys, not destinations. Be kind to yourself along the way and enjoy every step of the journey. I encourage you to take one small action today. Pause, think, and make one choice using your own mind. If you can, say it out loud. Celebrate that choice. This can be the beginning of building a strong habit of independent thinking. Keep practicing, stay patient, and trust the process. And as we come to the end of today's episode, remember this. Thinking for yourself is not about being perfect. It is about being aware, being responsible,